One morning, there was lots of talk in the yards of the Farquhar. "Did you hear that Tom Tipper's van was ransacked last night?" Thomas told the others. "What? How?" cried Percy. "Apparently he was just delivering mail to the station last night like he always does, and when he returned, lots of his mail bags were stolen and his van's windows were shattered." "That's terrible! Who would think of doing something so horrible?" "Someone who was sick enough to steal other people's mail. What could they possibly want anyways?" wondered Toby. "Probably valuable things, but Tom only carries letters, not jewels or expensive goodies." Percy felt bad for Tom. He was still thinking about it when he took the mail. He tried to keep a good eye for any suspicious characters. Little did he know, when he had stopped it for Farquhar, someone who didn't belong was on the platform. The next morning, Percy's driver woke him up from a small rest he was having. "Wake up, Percy! I have startling news!" Percy was feeling drowsy and tired from the night train he had pulled. "Ugh, what's the matter?" "Some of the mailbags didn't arrive at their destination." Percy wasn't drowsy anymore. "What? But I'm sure of it! We made all of our stops and—" Then he remembered what the engines talked about yesterday. "Oh no, I think the thieves struck." Percy's driver shook his head. "You could be right. Bother!" Upon further inspection, it was determined that Percy was right about the thieves. Percy was upset for the rest of the day. He had to take some stone chips to the quarry. Mavis couldn't help but notice how down Percy was. "You look under the weather, Percy. What's the matter?" "My mail train got ransacked last night." "Oh my goodness, that's terrible." "It's not only me. They attacked Tom and his van a few nights ago, too. I honestly feel too tired and nervous to pull the mail train now." "Tell you what, I'll take your mail train tonight. You probably just need some sleep to be able to think about it. After all, you are quite the night owl, and I don't think it helps that you are working in the day, too." "Really? Thank you! That will help!" Their drivers arranged it. Soon darkness fell upon Sigrid. The moon shone bright as Mavis hurried along the roads. She made good time and was very quick at each stop. However, when they arrived at Callan Station, trouble seemed to be brewing. The station master and porters went into the stations to collect more mailbags, so Mavis was all alone. She seemed to feel that something wasn't right. She was right to assume, as suddenly she heard voices. "All right, you go into the first van, you go into the second van, and I'll go into third." "Got it! Quick, before they see us!" Suddenly, multiple men dressed in black rushed out onto the platform and hurried into the vans. Mavis was shocked. Then she remembered what Percy said. "Help! Thieves! Someone help!" she cried. Her driver quickly saw what was happening and blew her horn, which attracted the station master and porter's attention. "Oh no, we're busted! Run for it, lads! Stop them!" The station master and porters chased the men. Soon, one of the porters tackled one of the thieves to the ground. The others got away, but everyone focused on the one. "Let me go! You have it all wrong!" "I don't think so. Hold them still." He lured the guard. "Call the police!" And he quickly ran to the station and phoned them. "Come to Callan Station quickly! We've caught one of the mail thieves!" Soon the police arrived and took the man away. "Well done, Mavis," said her driver. Mavis was relieved. Because the police had caught one man, he was able to list off all the other mail thieves. Soon enough, they caught all of them, and they were severely punished. They also were able to recover all the missing mail. So Topham Hatt and Tom Tipper met with Mavis a few days later. "Thank you, Mavis. You've helped tremendously." "Yes, indeed. Well done, Mavis. Now, seeing that this has happened, would you like to board the mail train sometimes? Even without the thieves, you made quite a good run." "I would love to. It would give me some time out of the quarry." Now, Mavis helps out with delivering the mail on the branch lines of Sigird. She She is happy whenever she does it, and she is happy that there are no more attempted robberies with the mail train. During the summer, Percy pulls the ice cream train. He puffs around with old slow coach, delivering cold treats and other delights for the passengers. Percy was proud to be the one to pull the train and loved seeing all the passengers' faces on it. One morning, Percy delivered old slow coach to the works. She was to be fitted with new signs advertising some new treats they had. Peter Sam was nearby.
"Hello, Percy,"
he said cheerfully.
"What are you up to?" "Old slow coach is being fitted with new signs today. We recently received a new flavor of popsicles," replied Percy. "Popsicles? Why would you need popsicles for passenger work?" "No, it's not for passenger work," Percy laughed, and he explained about the ice cream train.
Peter Sam's smile suddenly turned into a frown.
"That's not your idea! You silly big engines always seem to steal from us."
Percy was surprised.
"Stealing? I did no such thing. Stow it! You probably have a stupid excuse anyways."
And Peter Sam puffed away in a cloud of steam. Percy was confused and upset. What Percy didn't know was that Peter Sam pulled something like the ice cream train. On hot summer's days, he pulled a tea shop on wheels that the refreshment lady rode around in. Peter Sam stopped at many famous attractions for hikers, campers, tourists, and other people that wanted something from the refreshment lady. Peter Sam was cross today as he pulled it. When he stopped at one of his stops, Rusty was with the men who were working on mending the line.
"What's wrong, Peter Sam? You are doing one of your favorite things after all." "Well, I've just found out Percy completely stole my idea for this coach. He pulls it on some ice cream train and basically does what I do. It's an exact replica of my idea, I tell you."
"That's rough. I'm sure he didn't mean it."
"Well, when it's that close, Rusty, I don't think so."
Meanwhile, Percy arrived sadly at Wellswood. Douglas was waiting.
"Look, Percy, what's the matter with you?" "Peter Sam said that the ice cream train was his idea and that I stole it. I swear it was my original idea."
"There had to be a reason why he thought that."
"There wasn't any. He just hurried off without telling me why."
"That's not like him. Tell you what, I'll try to see why the wee engine reacted like that."
"Thanks, Douglas."
The next day, Douglas delivered a goods train to the works. Rusty was there. While working with the men, his engine overheated, and it needed to be fixed.
"Douglas, I have a question. Do you know about Percy's ice cream train thingy?"
Okay, I was going to ask you about that. You go first.
By any chance, did Percy copy the idea from Peter Sam's refreshment coach?
Certainly not. Percy thought of the idea himself. He was very sad to hear about it and told me Peter Sam accused him of stealing his idea. He never even explained about the coach.
Well, he never told me that, and that's certainly a problem.
Should we make our controllers aware of it? We probably should. I'll tell Sir Topham Hatt, and you tell Mr. Percival.
Got it. Thanks for your insight, Douglas.
Same. Hope your engine gets fixed soon. And Douglas puffed to go and collect his next train. While they were busy, the two engines told their controllers what the matter was. After a telephone call, the two arranged a meeting with both engines. Some days later, Percy and Peter Sam were called to the works. Sir Topham Hatt and Mr. Percival strode up to them. It seems there is some unneeded hatred between you two. Together we will work it out and hopefully get rid of this. Peter Sam told them about how he felt Percy stole his idea, while Percy told them how he came up with the idea himself. Sir Topham Hatt and Mr. Percival listened intently.
Peter Sam, it seems you're in the wrong, Mr. Percival said finally. Percy's idea was only recent. Yours was a few years ago. Plus, you have your success and Percy has his. I think you owe Percy an apology for jumping to conclusions. I'm sorry, Percy. I didn't mean to nag at you like that. I'm never like that. I hope you're not very upset with me. I understand where you are coming from, and I'm sorry if I felt like I copied you. Your idea seems wonderful too.
I'm glad it's settled. Let this be a good reminder to you two not to jump to conclusions. And that was the way it stayed. Percy and Peter Sam are glad that they are friends again, and they both are still proud of their trains. Nancy is a guard's daughter. When she was young, she helped with cleaning and polishing the engines. She loved her job for many years, and the engines loved her too. However, Nancy grew older, and soon she had to go off and study. She had to go abroad to study, which meant she was very far from Sodor and the engines who loved her. The engines always asked Nancy's father about her whenever they met at the station. He always replied, "Not much, just the same." However, one day was more different than the rest. Skarloey was resting in a siding when Duncan rushed up.
Skarloey! Skarloey! You won't believe it!
"What is it, Duncan?"
Nancy's coming home. She said her first stop would be to see us.
Skarloey whistled with joy. He thought his boiler would burst.
Hooray! I can't wait.
The next day, Skarloey was at the works. He was being checked over when a woman in a driver's suit came up. Skarloey found it hard to tell, but soon realized it was Nancy. "Nancy, good to see you. My oh my, you have changed. Where have you been all this time?"
Well, as you know, I went overseas, and the reason was because I wanted to be a professional in cooking. But I found it boring, and I missed all of you. I'm going to start training to be a driver.
Skarloey was very impressed. "That's amazing! I'm very glad you are happy, Nancy."
Thanks. This position is also big, as if I get the job, I'll be the first female employee to work on any of the Sodor railways. I'm beginning my trainee days as your driver.
Well, hop aboard. I can't wait to see your skills. So, after Skarloey was prepared, they were off. The journey was almost smooth. Sometimes Nancy pulled the brakes too hard. The coaches weren't too pleased.
It's absurd. This stupid driver should know how hard to pull the brakes.
Skarloey was cross with the coaches. "Give Nancy a chance, will you? She's only learning." The coaches didn't seem to listen, but Skarloey reassured Nancy. "I'm afraid they're always like this. Don't let them worry you. I think you're doing a splendid job."
Thank you, Skarloey.
Soon enough, the day was finished, and Nancy had finished her first day of training. Skarloey was impressed. "It seems you have lots of experience. Where did you learn it all?"
Before my dad became a station master, he was a driver, so he had quite a bit of experience. One time when he came down to visit me, he taught me all the basics of moving an engine. But in my free time, I was able to learn a lot more. I volunteered on a railway in France, and there I tested my skills on how to properly drive engines, and I've improved a lot since.
But wouldn't that Heritage Railway not have women drive their trains?
I was a second man, which usually meant I helped while on the footplate. There, a nice man sometimes let me drive the locomotives along the line, and it was lovely. But your cab controls are different, so it was hard at first, but it was easy once I got to know which part was which.
That's amazing. You truly are outgoing, just like the little girl you once were.
Thank you, Skarloey. I have to get home now. I'm having dinner with Dad for the first time in a while.
And she left. Skarloey smiled. The Nancy he once knew had now become older. Over the next few weeks, Nancy drove multiple engines about. Sometimes she drove Duncan, other times she drove Rheneas, and she even learned how to drive a diesel engine with Rusty. Over time, she became better and better and was mastering the skill. One day, as Skarloey was at the station, Nancy was called into the station master's office as an important phone call had come in for her. She ran out excitedly.
Skarloey, I've gotten the job. I'm now a railway driver for your railway. I'm officially the first female driver on Sodor. I can't believe it.
Skarloey whistled in delight. Congratulations, Nancy! But which engine will you be driving full-time? This might come as no surprise, but you really are the one I wanted to drive, you know. Skarloey was excited. Soon enough, Skarloey and Nancy began the new job together, and they made a great team. Nancy enjoyed it very much. One day, Skarloey was slower than usual. Nancy couldn't see anything wrong until she saw something when she leaned out of the cab. Oh dear, looks like there is a steam leak in your boiler. It's dangerous to continue, so I'll stop the train and quickly patch it up. So, Skarloey's train came to a halt. Nancy got out and quickly found a patch she could use for the rest of the journey. We'll have to call another engine once we reach the top station, I don't think.
What's the hold-up? Interrupted the passengers. We haven't got all day. At this time, we'll be late. Sorry, everyone, but our engine has a steam leak, and I'm currently patching it up.
Oh, of course it's a woman driving the train. No wonder she doesn't know how to work it. Anyone here a proper train driver?
Sir, I'll have you know I'm a professional at my job.
Job? Job? Ha ha ha! You're hilarious. Women can't have jobs, especially on the railway.
Skarloey couldn't believe what he had heard.
Will you shut it? Nancy does as good of a job as a man would do. You don't need to discriminate. The other passengers agreed and started complaining to the passenger. The passenger, feeling defeated, sheepishly got back into the coach. Soon, Skarloey's steam leak had been fixed, and he was on his way. When they got to the station, Nancy came out to see him.
Thank you, Skarloey. That was kind of you to stand up for me.
No worries, but it's what friends do. Nancy laughed, and Skarloey followed suit. Because of Nancy, she had inspired multiple other women to become drivers, guards, and other workers on the Sodor railways. Nancy is always proud, and she is most proud to be Skarloey's driver. If you were to travel along the Little Western, past beaches and towns, you would wound up at the Arlesdale Railway, home to the smallest engines on Sodor. The engines on the line consist of Mike, a hot-tempered red engine, Rex, a smart and chatty green engine, Bert, a hard-working engine, and Frank, a trackside maintenance diesel. The four engines work together to take passenger trains and ballast trains along the river line. However, sometimes the work was too much for them, and they seemed to always be needing help. The controller, Mr. Duncan, had been watching the situation and had bought a new engine to help out. He arrived one morning to tell the engines the news. Good news, gentlemen. I have got a new engine to help with your work. Their name is Sigrid, and they should be expected now. Alongside came a two-toned blue diesel. They had a cheerful smile as they rolled in.
Hello, you four. I am super glad to meet you.
Hello.
Good to meet you. Welcome to our railway.
Oh, finally, another diesel, just what we needed for this line. Hallelujah!
Hello.
Now, Sigrid, I want you to do the ballast runs. It would benefit these engines a ton.
Ballast?
But, sir, I'm a passenger engine. I don't do ballast runs. That starts today. Now get a move on. Sigrid decided not to argue further and collected her train. As the new diesel rolled along the line, Sigrid thought about their silly train. Maybe if I go a little faster, it won't be so bad. So Sigrid began to speed up. They arrived at the the mines early. The workmen were surprised. "You weren't expecting you this early."
I guess I am just that good then.
Sigrid decided to put the plan even further into action.
Could you please work quickly? There's a large section of track that needs to be filled in, and it's for the standard gauge engines. It's very important.
"Not to worry, we'll help you out." The workmen worked fast and got the train running in a record amount of time. Sigrid then backed down onto the train and hurried back faster than ever before. The train arrived very early to the station. So early, the trucks on the standard gauge line hadn't been prepared. Mr. Duncan was very pleased. "Wow, I'm very impressed, Sigrid. If this keeps up, then I can trust you on passenger trains."
Oh, thank you, sir.
For the next few days, Sigrid raced back to the mines where the workmen loaded the cars. Each time there was a new excuse, but all Sigrid cared about was pulling passenger trains. This made the little diesel very careless. One day, the load was larger than usual. "Careful," cautioned a workman. "This load weighs more than usual. I suggest not going the speed you were going when you came in."
Yes, of course."
And the diesel engine rolled away. Sigrid had to slow down at a signal labeled danger, but even though Sigrid's brakes came on, the heavy train made them go past the signal and onto the open line.
Oh no, help!
The emergency brakes came on, but it still didn't make any difference against the heavy cars. Sigrid raced on the line and frightened Frank and the workmen.
Slow down!
Cried Frank.
The tracks aren't set for you!
The tracks indeed weren't set. The points had been set to go to the ballast chute. Engines need to go behind the freight cars, so there was enough room for the ballast cars. Sigrid was in front of the cars and was in danger. Sigrid swapped onto the line and braced herself. Sigrid sat in a train meant for Donald, just below the chute. Soon Douglas arrived with a breakdown train to put them on the rails again. Mr. Duncan wasn't too pleased. "I understand why you couldn't stop, Sigrid. What I do not understand is that you lied to the workers at the mines about all these different things. What do you have to say?" Sigrid told them everything. "Needless to say," Mr. Duncan decided, "you won't be pulling passengers now. When you are back from checking over, you will be strictly on ballast duties until I see actual improvement. Understood?"
Yes, sir.
Sigrid worked harder than ever, and soon enough, Mr. Duncan trusted Sigrid to pull passenger trains. Sigrid now knows not to tell lies to make work faster, as the work is important, and that she must work even if she isn't pulling passengers. Bear is a friendly diesel engine who came to the island after being on trial. He came with a diesel whose number was 199. Bear had been at the works and was glad to finally get back to work. When he arrived at the big station to see what he had to do, he had quite the surprise. 199?
The name's Ronald, 7101.
Well, my name is Bear, Ronald.
Huh. Nice to meet you then, Bear.
What are you even doing here? Ronald told Bear all about how he became trusted by everyone again. Well, I know who to trust, and it's not you. And Bear roared away. He had another surprise when he arrived at the sheds. Bowler, 261?
It's Reggaby to you, Bear. Stop calling me that silly name.
What's going on here? First 199 and now you? Whatever is happening? Reggaby then told Bear about how he became trusted by everyone again. How? What? And everyone was that forgiving?
Yes, it seems you won't.
No! You all are horrid! I know your true colors. What's all this? Sir Topham Hatt walked sternly up. Ah, I see now. There, while you were in the works, I purchased both 199 and 261, after fear of them being scrapped. They are very grateful about their new look on life, and have proved to me that they are just as useful as you and the others. Humph, not to prove to me that they are useful. And that was that. Bear, Ronald, and Reggaby did a lot of the same jobs, and sometimes double-headed their trains. While Bear saw a change in attitude in their work, he still wasn't very convinced. All until one rainy day. Bear was set to pull the express, as Ronald and Reggaby had been called to do goods work. I hate the rain. It always seems to be trouble. Quite right. How full is the express today? Probably the fullest we could get it. You'll need help up Gordon's Hill. That train looks too heavy for one engine to do it themselves. You're right. I just hope it isn't those two shabby diesels. Who on earth are you talking about? 199 and 26. I mean, Ronald and Reggaby. Why were you all so forgiving? You know what they said about you. Engines deserve a second chance, Bear. You of all engines would know that. Quite right. From what we heard, the mainland isn't the same anymore. It's... I won't be acting silly like you lot. I know the trouble they put me through, so it will be a big day on Sodor when I do forgive them. Finally, the guard's whistle blew, and Bear growled out of the station, calling the heavy train. As they went along the journey, the damp rails were giving Bear trouble, and the rain poured into his face, which made it very hard to see. As Bear passed Wellsworth, Ronald and Reggaby tried to say hello, but with Bear's disdain for them and his engine making lots of noise, he went on. Soon enough, Bear came to Gordon's Hill. The train was heavy, so his wheels slipped on the wet rails, which soon enough made him come to a standstill. His driver checked him out. Well, Bear, I'm afraid to say this, but we're stuck. We'll need some help. But who will help us? Surely not one engine can help push me up. I'm aware. I'll phone the station master and see what he can do. Back at Wellsworth, the station master came to see Ronald and Reggaby. Bear's stuck on the hill. It'll require 2 engines to help him get going again. Do you think you can do it? We'll try. Soon, the 2 diesels came to the scene. Reggaby positioned him behind the heavy train, and Ronald went up to see what he needed to do. Oh, great. They sent a failure of a diesel to help.
You won't like that Reggaby is at the back ready to push. I'll go in front to help pull.
Bear just scoffed. Ronald switched lines, coupled up, and the 2 diesels honked to Reggaby that they were ready. Soon, all 3 began to move. Or so it seemed.
You need to help too.
And why should I? You seem to know everything.
Bear, if we don't get this train over the hill, the passengers won't get home. What will they do then?
Oh dear, I completely forgot about them. With that, Bear's engine roared to life, and the train began to move a bit faster. Then more, until the whole train crested down the other side. They soon arrived at the first station after the hill, where Ronald and Reggaby could move off the train. As they went into a siding, the passengers stuck their heads out the windows and cheered. 3 cheers for Ronald and Reggaby! As Ronald passed by Bear, he could see that he had a smile on him. Ronald hoped it meant something good. When they got back to the shed that night, Bear spoke softly to Ronald. I'm sorry, Ronald. I can't see you have changed. You weren't thinking of yourselves. While hauling that heavy train, you thought about the passengers, which is what a really useful engine does.
Thank you, Bear, and I'm sorry for what I said during our days on the other railway. I hear you're an enterprising engine.
The 2 laughed, and talked a while more before going to sleep. Now Ronald, Reggaby, and Bear are all great friends. They work together with no fuss, and Bear is glad that he accepted the 2 diesels back into his life. Billy is a hard-working engine on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. He works in the Peel Godred branch line hauling trucks and coaches. At first, he had quite a rough beginning at the start, and the engines teased him about his two big teeth. But they still learned that Billy is really useful. One day, Billy was waiting at the station, waiting for Henry to come in with some trucks.
Where are these trucks from? He asked.
Kirk Ronan, replied Henry. I got them from Charlie.
Charlie? Who's Charlie?
You don't know Charlie?
No, doesn't ring a bell.
How don't you? Charlie is literally one of your brothers.
What do you mean?
Charlie is an engine from your class, except he's purple. I don't remember asking him about you, or ever mentioning you. Tell you what, I'll ask him about you next time I see him.
All right, let me know how it goes.
Later that day, Henry was waiting at Tidmouth when Charlie steamed in beside him.
Hello, Henry. Glad to see you again.
Same to you. Oh, I just remembered. Do you know an engine named Billy?
No? Why?
You don't know about Billy? Goodness, I've heard of engines not knowing their siblings, but this is outrageous. Billy works on the Peel Godred branch line. You literally live on the same island. Surely you had to know that. Oh, I didn't even know one of them worked on Sodor. What does he look like? He's orange and has two big buck teeth. Still don't know him. Well, one of these days you have to meet each other. Quite right. At last the guard's whistle blew, and Charlie was on his way. Charlie had a different personality than Billy. He was also a mixed traffic engine and worked on the Kirk Ronan branch line. He was quite the studious engine, and knew how to tell a joke once in a while. Soon enough, Henry's wish for the two meeting would come true. Dennis had to go to the works to get his engine fixed. This put the Peel Godred engine short. Sir Topham Hatt was deciding who to send down. Henry overheard this conversation and spoke up. Sir, what about Charlie? Why do you ask that? Asked Sir Topham Hatt. He's, a very hard-working engine, replied Henry, trying not to sound suspicious. You are right about that. I think I'll go ahead and use him. Henry beamed. Finally, he could see the two brothers meeting each other. Billy was excited to meet Charlie, and got even more excited when he heard an unfamiliar whistle. There was Charlie, puffing into the station, and when he did, both engines almost dropped their fires in shock.
Charles? William? I can't believe it! I can't believe you actually work on Sodor! Me neither! How have you been, William? I've been good. I've definitely matured since the last time you saw me. Seems you have done the same.
Oh yes, we were quite silly. I remember the name Fieldish William still.
Yes, I remember Cheeky Charles. Anyways, we can catch up more on the journey. We need to take this goods train up to Peel Godred.
Sounds good to me. And so, the two engines began the double-header. As they hopped along the line, the two reminisced on good times, and they laughed and laughed at some of the silly stories they told. Soon enough, Charlie knew the line well enough to be able to pull trains by himself. With his help, the Peel Godred was able to succeed without Dennis. Around the time Charlie was expected to leave, Henry arrived with a goods train. He saw Billy and Charlie about to double-head another goods train, and he remembered about the individual conversations he had had with each engine. Hello, you two. How's it going?
Henry, you won't believe it. We actually did know each other.
Henry's smile widened. I knew it! But how?
Well, our nicknames are Billy and Charlie, which we didn't know, but our real names are William and Charles, which we knew all along.
Henry was surprised. You mean Billy and Charlie aren't your names?
Yep.
Fascinating, isn't it? Agreed. Just then the guard's whistle blew.
Come on, Charles. That's our signal to go.
Right behind you, William. See you later, Henry.
Yes, and thank you for letting us know each other.
The two engines laughed, and so did Henry. He was very happy for the two brothers. Barry is an engine who was saved from scrap by Sir Topham Hatt. He loves his new life on the Island of Sodor, working on pulling different trains along the main line. However, some of his jobs require him to go off the main line. His latest assignment was one of these. One morning, Barry was sent along Edward's branch line to help with a large shipment of China clay. Barry liked exploring. He was good friends with Edward and was excited to see what he was proud of. When he arrived at the docks, Barry saw Salty shunting some trucks. Excuse me, have you seen Edward?
Not since he left with a train, me hearty. He won't be back till midday. Say, you look new around here. What be your name?
I'm Barry. I'm here to help.
Nice to meet you, matey. I'm Salty, part of the dockside team. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, you look like you'd be looking for something too. What might that be?
I'm supposed to go to the China clay mines. Where are those?
Arg, that be down the junction just over there. But be on the lookout for those scallywags, Bill and Ben. They'll give you grief.
Thanks for the warning. See you around. And Barry puffed away to collect his first train. When he arrived, the mines were empty. Barry's train wasn't even assembled. Am I on time? I'm sure I am. So where's my train? Just then, he heard a whistle, and a bright yellow engine popped up. Hello, who are you? Barry. I'm here to collect a train. It's supposed to leave around now. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot to get it. I'll go get it now. Oh, by the way, I'm Bill. All right, thanks. Gosh, he seemed nice. Just then, another whistle was heard, and Bill came up again. Hello, Bill. Where's my train? Bill? I'm Ben. What's your name? I told you, my name is Barry. Ah, I see. Nice to meet you. You said you needed a train? Yes, and I'm on a schedule, so hurry up. All right, I'll get it. Thanks. Weird. I thought his name was... Another whistle came again, and Ben rolled up. Ben! Where's my train? You said you were going to get it. I'm not Ben. I'm Bill. I couldn't find a train meant for you anyways. Well, I'm on a schedule, and I hope you're bluffing, or I'll send you back to the scrapyard where I was found. Bill looked frightened and quickly hurried away. Okay, something is up. Barry thought about what was going on, but by the time he put two and two together, the twins rolled up on each side. Boo! Whoa, what? Huh? Got you! Alright, Bill, Ben, whoever you are, I'm not going to repeat myself. I am Barry, if you didn't catch that by now, and I am on a schedule, which isn't going to be ruined by you. Oh, you're no fun. No, Bill, look, he's red. Red engines aren't fun. Oh, I see. Alright, come on. Let's get trucks with Mr. No Fun. And the twins ran away laughing. Barry was cross. He arrived at the docks very late. Frankie was quick to criticize. You silly engines keep the boats waiting. You need to hurry up. It wasn't my fault. Just then, Edward arrived. Hello, Barry. You look worked up. Am I glad to see you. You probably know Bill and Ben. They have been monsters with me. They already tricked me once and said red engines aren't fun. What's gotten into them? A new and vulnerable engine has gotten into them. Don't worry, this isn't the first time this has happened. Yeah, I figured. But I want to get even. How do you think I could do that? Any engine figures out how to fool them. You'll get it. I might have an idea. Listen. Later on, Barry came back with a tanker filled with water. He had taken it on his first train to fill water for the water tower at the clay pits. Hey, Barry's back with the water. Thank goodness, I'm exhausted. Yes, fill to the brim with water for those little tanks of yours. Hey, we're not little. Yeah, we're just as strong as you. I see. Anyways, remember how you said it wasn't fun earlier? Well, I want to show you how to have fun. Listen, I'm going to hide this tanker, and you get to go find it. I'll go hide it while you shunt my train. Bill and Ben were excited. They quickly shunted Barry's train together. Barry was impressed. My, you're quick. Anyways, it's hidden now. Try to find it before I come back. Bill and Ben quickly scurried away. What they didn't know, however, was that Barry had shunted the tanker onto his new train. The twins were too busy to notice this, as it was behind the brake van, which was behind many trucks. Barry laughed along the journey. Bill and Ben were becoming frustrated. Where is it? I can't find it. You probably moved it. No, I didn't. Yeah, you're hiding it so you can show Barry when he returns. No, he didn't. Yes, you did. No, he didn't. Yes, you did. Just then, Barrett returned with a tanker behind him. Looking for something? Bill and Ben were surprised. They soon realized they had been tricked. Am I still no fun? All right, Betty. You win. That was a pretty good one. They all laughed as the three became friends. Ever since Diesel had been sent to the scrapyard, he had been very quiet. Not a peep of teasing or snarling had come from him. He did his work, but seemed very shy when it came to talking to the other engines. Even the ironworks Diesel had seen a change in him.
He doesn't like to talk to us much. No, not for a while. Not about scrapping or being revolutionary. It's just a silent treatment.
All in all, the engines were quite suspicious of what devious Diesel was up to next. One afternoon, Diesel had bought a train of scrap to Wellsworth. Edward saw him and thought he'd say hello. Diesel, good to see you. Oh, Edward, you scared the life out of me. I see. Anyways, I have to dash. The ironworks need me. But you don't have to leave for another 30 minutes. Well, that doesn't mean I can't get moving. Diesel, wait. I'm sorry. Did I start something? Diesel stopped. Edward, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. Diesel, calm down. I'm right here. Please, tell me what's up. Diesel started to look very sick. It's not nice to talk about. I promise I won't tell anyone. Even my siblings? Even your siblings. Diesel took a deep breath and started. All right. Let me tell you about the most horrific night of my life. So Diesel began his story. Diesel had been naughty one too many times on Sodor. His most recent endeavor was trying to pull a train big enough for Henry and proving he was not good enough to be a dockside Diesel, which prompted Sir Topham Hatt to get another engine instead. Diesel had been sent back home in disgrace, and he despised it. He told the others what he thought.
Pathetic! That railway is filled with useless old kettles who get their own programs and movies anyways. We are far superior than them. We are modern. Revolutionary.
Yes, even with those new high-speed engines, we still are far superior. Just then, the yard manager came up.
Oi, you!
Who? Me?
Yes, you. Listen. Train trucks can be taken back to the scrap yards. You'll arrive at dock, then come here very early in the morning tomorrow. Get a move on.
With pleasure. And Diesel began his journey. Nightfall came. He arrived at the scrap yards. For some reason, Diesel felt uncomfortable. He had been here many nights before, but this night fell off.
Finally, those trucks from Bridlington arrived. Put them in the second farthest siding and be off with you.
Diesel was quite confused. Surely people like to see me. I'm still revolutionary, aren't I? He let the trucks in the siding. He was just about to go when he looked at an old shed. There looked to be an engine, ready for scrap. Diesel couldn't see properly at first, but then he looked closer and gasped. There was one of his siblings, ready to be scrapped. Hey, you. How? What? I know. Shocking. Lost for words, even. Listen, buddy. We may be revolutionary, but we are all getting older. Dieselization was so long ago. Now people are making these high-speed engines and electric locomotives. It may look like we will last forever, but one day, there will be a come when we aren't the future. We will all be replaced with something new one day. But we are revolutionary, right? For our time, yes, but there isn't much of a need for shunters. These high-speed trains don't need as much shunting for their coaches. My advice to you, though, is live your life to the fullest. You don't know when your life will come to an end. Just then, some men came. Get to work, one said. Then, Diesel watched through a small window outside the shed in horror as the Diesel was cut up into pieces, smaller and smaller, till all that was left on the rails were his wheels. Diesel was so distraught he nearly began to cry. He left the scrapyards that night a very different engine. After that night, Diesel's work ethic began to drop. He was much slower than usual, and seemed distracted from shunting. The yard manager wasn't too pleased. One day, Sir Topham Hatt came to the yards to see the yard manager. Diesel overheard their conversation. "This might sound strange, but I would like to buy Diesel." "Why him? He screwed up on your railway and you didn't want him anymore, right?" "Well, Diesel has become very popular on my railway. Ever since he was introduced to the television program about us, children have wanted to see him. So, how about it?" "Yeah, sure. He's literally the worst performer in my yards right now, so..." "Great. Diesel, you're coming with me." I honestly couldn't believe it. The man who I thought hated me was going to buy me. When he did, I was brought to the island and yeah. Diesel, that's an absolutely horrible thing to go through. I'm terribly sorry. How long has it been since you've talked about it? I've never said anything about it. I've tried to forget it, but after I screwed up at the cement works, it hit me. Edward, can we talk again? I really feel like you're the only one who cares about me right now. Of course. Come see me anytime. I'll listen. With that, Diesel put on a brave face and rolled away. It's going to be a long road for recovery, Graham, Edward thought. Edward had arranged to meet with Diesel again after their last conversation. Once another train was set to go to Wellsworth, Diesel took the train to the yards. Edward was waiting. "Hi, Diesel. Feeling better?" "No, I'm still off." "I can see why. Anyways, if I remember correctly, the story goes that you saw one of your siblings being scrapped, correct?" "Yes, and it hasn't left my mind. I still see a clear image of it to this day." "All right. If I may ask, why did you do what you did at the cement works? Fergus told me everything." I don't know. I just thought causing trouble would help me forget about it. That clearly didn't work." "No, it didn't work. And I'm the only engine who knows about it, right?" "Yes, you." "Hello, Edward. What did you need to see me for?" "Ah, Boko. Perfect timing. Diesel, I feel Boko here could help you out. He's a part of a failed class of engines, and he's one of the only survivors of his class. Please, tell him everything." Reluctantly, Diesel did. "Oh my goodness, Diesel. That's way too much for one single night. Listen, though. I am a part of a class of engines who failed on the mainland, and I remember hearing about my favorite brother being scrapped. I cried for several days, but I feel that getting to know the engines here and becoming a friend in their eyes will help tremendously. Having friends really helped, as I was able to feel like I had so much support. And another thing? Tell the Fat Controller about how you feel. He always understands." "What do you say, old boy?" Edward asked. Diesel pondered. He stayed silent for a while, which worried the other engines. "All right, I'll try." "That's the spirit." So Diesel did what Boko said. The other engines were quite surprised with what he said, but everyone gave him their full support. When he told Sir Topham Hatt, he relocated Diesel to Vickerstown Yards so he could get away from the scrapyard. He is quite the hard-working engine now, and remembers that, when times are tough, he always has his friends to rely on. Donald and Douglas are Scottish twin engines. They work together on the main line, pulling goods trains, and help out on the Little Western when needed. However, Donald and Douglas aren't the only twin engines on the island. There's also Bill and Ben, who work at the mines and quarries on the island. They mainly work at the China clay pits on Edward's branch line, hauling loads to the docks. Sometimes, however, the twins can't leave the clay pits, as there is so much to organize, which leads to clogged sidings. Derek would usually help when this was the case, but his cooling system was being checked over, so Sir Tom and Hack called for Donald and Douglas to move the trucks to the docks. The twins had been to Edward's branch line before, but had never been to the clay pits. When they arrived, it was in quite a state.
Knapford Harbour looks tidier than this. Aye, what engines would leave a mine looking like this? Whoa! Whoa! Got you! Are you the engines who run this place? Asked Donald. Yes, I'm Bill, and I'm Ben. You should be ashamed of yourselves, scolded Douglas. Look at the state of this place. That's what you're here for. Aren't you late? The yard could have been clean if you arrived earlier. The Scottish twins were not in the mood for games. Oh, just get our train. And so they did, and soon Don and Douglas began to pull the train away. They arrived at Brendam Docks, and were late as expected. You engines need to stop holding these ships up, criticized Cranky. It's ridiculous. Stop your complaining, will ya? Said Salty. The ship doesn't leave for hours. I'm sorry, you two. He's in another foul mood today. We can relate. Aye, but he's always cranky. Aye, but we are still cranky ourselves. I'm not cranky. R2 are not. R2 are not. Settle down, you two, said Edward in a civilized manner. But you do look cross over something. What is it? It's those twins at the clay pits. Aye, engines might think we're bad because we're twins, but they're much worse. Yes, they are devils at times, but I can assure you they are quite useful. And I'd like to see it myself. Our first impression doesn't make it seem likely to happen. And the twins hopped away to collect their next train. The twins had to stay for quite some time, which meant Bill and Ben could play more tricks on them. Hey, Donald, look out! Oh, you little rascal! Got you! Little piggy in the middle! Oh. By the end of the day, Donald and Douglas had enough of the twins and were glad to pull their final train to the docks. The next morning, Donald and Douglas were pulling a train of China clay to the Knapford Harbour. A ship had been redirected to the other side of the island, but it still needed the China clay, so the Scottish twins hurried down the line. However, as they puffed along, something felt terribly wrong beside Donald. With a loud bang, Donald's driver quickly whistled to Douglas's crew to stop the train. Donald's crew inspected. Well, your safety valve is broken, explained his driver. We'll have to go call for help. Back at the clay pits, Bill and Ben were working tidying the yard when a workman came up to them. Donald is broken down, and Douglas needs help to reach the harbor. Could you help, twins? Why should we help? They've been yelling at us to clean the yards. Not from what I've seen. You two have been causing havoc for them. Maybe this can change their thoughts on you. Bill and Ben agreed with that and hurried to find the twins. When they arrived, the Scottish twins laughed. Look, Dougie, they expect these bees to pull us. You can leave the size of them. You probably barely pull us at Edward Station. Bill and Ben wanted to reply, but said nothing and went to back down. Soon the guard whistled, and Bill and Ben pulled as hard as they could. Douglas prepared to push, but he wasn't prepared for how hard Bill and Ben were working. He was taken aback by how hard they pulled. My oh my! Bill and Ben had done it. The train was quite slow, but all the engines reached the harbor
just before the ship left. Then the China Clay twins puffed alongside the Scottish twins. They were quite tired out. "We're sorry for being rude back there," said Donald. "Aye," agreed Douglas. "You did a splendid job of getting us here." "Thank you," replied Bill. "Yes, thank you. And we're sorry for being so rude," added Ben. "Yeah, that too." "Aye, we can forgive you." Since then, both twins have become allies. They like to help each other whenever they can. After all, one pair will always help another.
It was Christmas time on the Island of Sodor, and the average shunters were working harder than ever. Recently, the snow had made the tracks icy, and in the morning, snow covered the rails. Hunter was in charge of clearing the yard of snow and laying salt down to prevent the engines from slipping. After that, the engines got to work and jumped into many trains that could have been delayed. Although Hunter worked hard, he began to tire of doing the same thing every morning and wish it was summer again. He was talking to Percy about it one morning. "Nothing exciting ever happens around this time. It's just do this, then work, then go to sleep and repeat. I want it to be fun." "Well, Bertie once taught me that excitement is surprising. You never know when you'll get it." And Percy puffed away. This got Hunter thinking. But his mood didn't change. The trucks were teasing him.
Look, lads, I heard that Hunter now takes snow to steam up.
"What do you mean?" Hunter looked in his bunker and saw that snow covered the coal in it. The trucks giggled. Hunter was cross. "Shut it! I have no patience!"
Watch his temper. He might get so hot-headed that it'll melt all the snow away.
Hunter didn't reply. He just got back to work. Hunter started to feel the Christmas blues. He just couldn't get into the spirit. The others noticed this and asked him about it during their refueling break.
It's Christmas, the best time of the year. How can you feel down during this time?
"I don't know. It's just that nothing has happened and, well, I just don't know how to explain it." That's a feeling most of us feel, lad. Christmas isn't always holly and jolly for everyone. Don't worry. We're here if you need anything. Thanks, I guess. Hunter continued working throughout the weeks leading up to Christmas. Each morning he woke up early to clear the yard of snow and to put salt on the rails, shunted for the rest of the day, then went to sleep. It was beginning to be repetitive. Hunter was getting crosser by the day about it. He was also overwhelmed with his other work. Sometimes Hunter would leave the yard to take trains to other places on the island. It seemed to be too much for him. It wouldn't be long before Hunter snapped. One morning, Hunter had finished cleaning the yard and had put salt on the rails. He thought he had done the entire yard. He was mistaken. The trucks began to tease him again.
Finally, we're being moved. Not so fast, fellas. Hunter's pushing us. Ooh, he's so slow. Yeah, his top speed in the yard is like at max 5 miles per hour.
"Shut it!" cried an irritated Hunter.
We'll make it to our siding by night. What should we do then? Probably sing carols. Careful, though. Hunter's temper has a rise. That's it!
Then everything happened at once. Hunter had completely forgotten about the points leading to the yard. Because of this, the trucks were able to slide along them and crashed on the points set against them. Oh no. Soon the mess was being cleaned up. Sir Topham Hatt came to see Hunter. "As you know, I am quite displeased with this accident, Hunter. You are normally very good with clearing the yard. It seems not." "Please, sir," interrupted Ginty. "It may have been Hunter's fault, but he has been feeling down these past few weeks. He has been doing the same thing for a while now. In fact, I feel all the shunters here could tell you that we are all bored of work. You must understand, sir, that Hunter is probably stressed from all the extra work. That's why he had an outrage today." Sir Topham Hatt went silent, but seemed to have a reassuring look. I quite understand, Ginty. You bring up a valid point. Now that I am aware of the situation, I owe all of you an apology for all the extra work that has been put onto you. Hunter, I think I know the perfect thing to cheer you up. I'll explain more later. Hunter was confused as Sir Topham Hatt walked away. What does he mean by something to cheer me up? He found out soon enough. Christmas Eve arrived, and Sir Topham Hatt spoke with Hunter again. Hunter, I'd like for you to go to Tidmouth Station this evening. There's a special someone who will need a ride. Yes, sir. Hunter put on a small smile. He couldn't wait to see who he was picking up. Hunter arrived at Tidmouth that evening like the Fat Controller asked. The men on the platform loaded presents and parcels into the brake van and coach behind him. Hunter wondered why there were so many presents being loaded. Then, he saw a person he knew very well climb into one of the coaches. Hunter knew who it was at once, and quickly hurried to the big station. Everyone was excited when Hunter arrived. A door on one of the coaches opened, and out came Santa Claus. All the engines and people at the station let out a cheer. Hunter saw Percy beside him, and spoke with him. You know, Percy, you are right. You never know when you'll be surprised. It is exciting.